Sad ending for Sussex. Stubborn Meghan torn apart Harry's life by her own poisonous choice. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have built an isolated world for themselves and are desperate to control the narrative, a royal author has claimed. The couple stepped down as senior royals last year and are now living in California with their 2 children Archie and Lilibet. Harry is seemingly at odds with both his older brother Prince William and father Prince Charles, who he accused of cutting him off financially and said he stopped taking his calls. Meanwhile, Meghan has a rocky relationship with her father Thomas, who has never met his 2 grandchildren. The pair have not spoken for almost 4 years after it emerged he staged a photo shoot with paparazzi just before her wedding to Harry. In a recent interview on Good Morning Britain, Thomas branded her childish and silly and said he would keep speaking to the media until he hears from her. And now biographer Tom Bauer, who is currently researching and writing a book about Meghan, claims they are alienating their families. He told, "Harry and Meghan have totally isolated themselves. They seem to think they will be stronger by cutting people out, but they're really just alienating their families. I think it's very sad for them both and their children. I believe Meghan is a very stubborn person, but I think eventually even she'll realize that this isolated world she and Harry have built for themselves was a poisonous choice. They seem so desperate to control the narrative that they can't risk anyone else influencing it, but this will simply cause more damage to them in the future, when their children grow up with no family around them." Harry met Meghan in 2016 and the pair dated in secret before their romance was revealed to the world. They announced their engagement in November 2017 and married in a lavish wedding at St. George's Chapel in Windsor in March 2018. But in the years before their meeting, royal biographer Andrew Morton, author of the book Meghan, A Hollywood Princess, says Harry was a very different person. Speaking on the podcast Royal, Morton said, 2 or 3 years before that, he was a very angry young man and he was taking on the world, he was taking on paparazzi photographers particularly. He was stumbling out of bars disheveled and worse the wear for drink, and he didn't seem to have a compass. He didn't know which way to turn, and at that time, he was struggling to find himself and struggling with the loss of his mother, struggling to come to terms with it, and as a young man, he wasn't always the popular Harry of popular imagination. However, the author claims Harry was able to later find his cause in life after setting up and launching the successful Invictus Games. Morton added, he'd cleaned up his act, he'd gotten involved in the Invictus Games, he had found his cause in life and he stuck to that, helping disabled, mentally injured soldiers and servicewomen to find themselves, and I think that was something that helped him find himself. The author's comments come after another royal biographer urged Meghan to communicate with her dad and her brother to stop skeletons in the closet emerging. Meghan has had a strained relationship with her father Thomas, and the pair have not spoken for almost 4 years after it emerged he staged a photo shoot with paparazzi just before her wedding to Harry. In a recent interview on Good Morning Britain, Thomas branded her childish and silly and said he would keep speaking to the media until he hears from her. He also claimed that Meghan had changed since meeting Harry, saying she had never cut him off before. Now Tom Bauer, a biographer who is currently researching and writing a book about Meghan, says if she wants her family to stop talking about her, she needs to reach out to them to stop talking about